Unrestricted is scary, right? Just like humans need permissions, so do agents. And so this is why what we have launched is so incredible.
Hi, I'm Paul, founder and CEO of Browserbase. I'm here today with an exciting announcement. Browserbase has partnered with 1Password to bring agentic authentication to our Director.ai product. Now anybody can securely automate the web with credentials embedded in their automation. I'm here with Nancy from the 1Password team, who's going to share more about this announcement that we're doing together.
Thanks so much for having me here. My name is Nancy Wang, and I am the SVP of Engineering for 1Password. Today, it's super exciting to say that 1Password isn't just for yourself, but it's also for your AI agents. And so by joining forces, we're bringing agentic identity into your automation workflows.
Yeah, and I think the future of authentication for AI has been something that's just a hot topic, right? I mean, these are systems that are going out and doing work on our behalf and navigating on our behalf. So as AI begins to interact with the web, the topics of trust, safety, and transparency are really top of mind for a lot of the people using AI to automate. How do we think about that?
You know, at 1Password, trust and identity are two concepts that go hand in hand. And we've always believed that we have to meet our users where they are. And so now, of course, that extends to AI agents and making sure that they can securely access the web using existing protocols.
Identity used to be just about people logging into websites, but with AI agents, it's becoming human to agent to service. How does that change the way we think about identity?
Well, if you think about agents acting on behalf of the user, they also have distinct identities, but because they're acting on behalf of the user, it has to be tied back to the user. And this is where, just like we've had frameworks like OAuth for the web, right? Now we need to have agent authentication and also authorization.
Yeah, and developers always talk about how credential management is one of their biggest pains. We've heard about developers committing their end to the Git or leaking a password on accident. How are we solving that?
Well, with our new launch, what's really exciting here is agents can now use vault entries from 1Password directly through our integration without ever having to expose those credentials to the agent.
So one of the risks with agents browsing the web is prompt injection, where someone can put some sort of prompt into a page that may trick the agent into doing something that's not supposed to do. What's the role of identity in preventing that?
Well, if we think about identity defining scope, right, this is where, from a principal perspective, agents should never access anything that they're not authorized to access to, or they don't have permission to access. And so if we focus today on access management for agents, right, if you want agents to complete a workflow and they need access to sensitive systems, it's all about how long do they need that access for? Which systems are they accessing? And really the holy grail here is the concept of context, right? Which is why are they accessing those systems in order to do what? And so if you're able to map out that path, that's where secure and control comes into the picture.
Well, there's an open debate about whether or not agents should have unrestricted access to the internet. What are your thoughts?
Unrestricted is scary, right? Just like humans need permissions, so do agents. And so this is why what we have launched is so incredible. With browser-based infrastructure and 1Password secure vaulting, we can make sure that agents access only what they are allowed to.
Yeah, it feels like the extra human layer of approval is really important for giving agents access to what they should have, but not what they don't need.
Absolutely. And this is where we can delicately insert human in the loop such that it doesn't prevent productivity or people from moving fast, but it still guarantees that what they are doing is secure.
So one of the hardest things to design is authentication. Do I have to log in every time? Will the website remember me? How long is my login valid for? How do you think about that with agent authentication and taking some of those lessons we've learned from the old way we do authentication and carry them over into AI?
What you just mentioned here touches upon both security and also usability, which are two concepts that need to be in concert in order to deliver a good product experience. And so at 1Password, we believe that the right UX is that balance between giving users control, but also making sure that the agents that they're acting on behalf of them are actually making secure decisions, right? Secure access. And so what we have cooking down the road is also the usability around that intent. Here, we have an opportunity to be industry defining and be able to give agents time-bound access for what they need to actually achieve.
So ultimately, people need confidence that their agents are acting on their behalf safely. How do we ensure that trust?
Well, going hand in hand with trust is transparency, right? You have to see it to believe it. And so taking that principle to what we've launched together is that you need to see what your agents are accessing, when they're accessing it, and also why they're accessing it. Right? And so just in the same way that we provide audit logging for today's users, we are also providing audit logging for our agents.
I'm curious that intent is something that needs to be captured. What's missing for developers today in this implementation?
The biggest thing missing today is a safe handling of credentials in developer workflows. Developers shouldn't have to hard code secrets or remember what they have stored in their .m files. So by plugging 1Password into Browserbase, developers can focus on building and not have to babysit their tokens.
Yeah, and it reminds me kind of how OAuth really transformed the web by making, social login much easier and more accessible to many different types of developers. Do you feel like we need a similar standard for AI agents?
Yes, because standards are what makes security usable. And so if we think about what we're building today as cross-platform, interoperable, right? The theme here is really limiting access to credentials overall, and even by identities such as agents. And what we are building today is a small step towards making sure that credentials are never leaked, right? Making sure that credentials stay secure in your 1Password vaults.
If 1Password can change it so my family doesn't have their passwords written down on a post-it note, I think they've already done a lot. If they can help AI not write down their passwords and variables, I think that's a huge uplift. I guess one thing I maybe want to end with is, AI is happening. It's here. It's happening in production. What are some use cases that you're really excited for in the next few years?
Well, we're going to see agents embedded into a bunch of enterprise workflows, whether it's filing reimbursements, accessing your CRM, or even doing outbound customer support calls. Now, in terms of access management, what we're doing at 1Password is taking what we're already doing for human users and extending it to agents.
Yeah, for me, I'm really excited about more high value opportunities for automation. It feels like in the past, automation has been very limited in scope because we didn't trust it. But now with secure authentication powered by 1Password, maybe AI could finally do my taxes for me.
If we can have it before the next tax day next year, I'd love to use it as well.
With this announcement, we're getting a little closer to that. In the end, identity is the foundation for AI to safely interact with the web. And with Browserbase's infrastructure and 1Password's secure vault, we're giving developers the tools they need to securely build agents in production.
And for users, it's really that peace of mind. They need to be confident that their AI agents are acting safely, securely, and reliably.
Yeah. Well, Nancy, I'm so excited for this announcement and so thankful to have your time today. Thank you for coming by the office, and I'm excited to keep building together.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, and kudos to both teams for this amazing launch.